All right, so I got Brad on right now, and the biggest reason why I'm doing this is what I've experienced working with Brad, for a lot of people that know me, especially in the real estate, mortgage, financial world, I've done a lot of speaking, but there was a time, it was about 2 years ago where I was at my worst point. Like, I mean, this, Brad, like I was the heaviest I've ever been. I just went through a ton of medical stuff, had my gallbladder removed. I had a hernia surgery. In addition to that, multiple instances of kidney stones. I had to have kidney stone surgery. It was like all this stuff happening to me because the way I was living my life and the way I was eating, taking care of myself. I mean, it was all coming down. But more importantly, and this is why this is so important to me and kind of getting this message out. I was at my lowest point because I'm also the owner and CEO of Credit Life. And literally everything I was going through was directly impacting my business. We were having one of our biggest downturns. I was completely stressed out. I mean, literally, even just everyone knows me, I have a ton of energy naturally. I mean, I had to like motivate myself every morning just to work. That's where I was at. And every decision I made, I was stressed out. I feel like the way I approached my business wasn't how I typically would. I'm very positive, I'm solution seeking. Like I was just creating excuses. I was negative, all this person, this, that. Like it was a cluster. I mean, it really was. And that's when we met, and it was like, and we actually met through Dave Van Hoos, doing speaking training where I got my speaking. That's where I met you. And it was like one of those things, I know Dave had referred you over and we were talking about your business. I mean, you've been doing big things, man. And in fact, I told someone this just the other day when I was talking with them. I was like, that was a blessing for me because the timing of that and what you do with the Feinberg method, it was truly timely. I mean, it was so timely because everything I was going through and what you do every day to empower people and help them, I needed that. Like that's
Yeah.
it. And it motivated me to actually take action because I was already thinking about it, but yet I wasn't doing anything about it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that I think that's the biggest thing. And since working with you, I've dropped 2 full pant sizes. You know what I mean? Like this. I wake up early every day. I'm excited every day. Like my old self is back. I'm still on the journey. Attempted to do Murph yesterday. Almost did it,
That's it.
but at least I tried, right? I gave it my all. I wouldn't be doing
Yeah.
these things 2 years ago, and
Hmm.
the impact in my business, when I come in every day working with my team, the results that we're experiencing. I mean, it just to me like it's so important because if you're stressed out, if you have credit problems, if you have business growth problems, it's like all these things to me, at least what I went through, it leads naturally for a lot of people. I feel like it leads to like you just make bad decisions, like, oh, I'm stressed out. I'm not going to work as hard. Oh, I'm going to eat this tonight. I'm going to order out. I'm going to have
Yep.
some drinks, whatever it is. And it's a spiral. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the biggest thing that I've noticed with the immense amount of individuals that I've worked with in whatever stage of business or life that they're in. It's everybody, you start to go down this emotional rabbit hole, and it starts with some form of stress.
Yep.
And stress is neither good nor bad, but it can have a particular impact. And a lot of times we're
Yeah.
experiencing stress impacts that we don't want. And a
Yep.
lot of times those stressors don't go away. And it's not like you just wake up immediately the next day and you find yourself overweight, unenergized, unmotivated, losing muscle. It's like happens over this long period of time that
Yep.
we don't notice. And then we start to get frustrated. We start to get anxious, depressed. And let's be real, no one teaches you how to deal with that. They just
Yep.
give you pills or medication, or you turn to alcohol, food, drugs, whatever it is. And then you find yourself so low in this emotional turmoil where you're hating yourself, you're hating life, or not only that, when we look at the business side of it, you're wondering why you things just aren't going
Yep.
well. And
Yep.
like you said, you start to look at outside things. maybe it's the marketing, maybe it's this, which yes, that can have a role in it, but it's you
Yep.
and it's your health. And when you start like health and fitness, really health and wellness is literally the foundation of everything that
It
allows
is.
you to be your greatest self, not just in business, but in personal, but in the relationships, whatever it is. But it's where you're now at. You've really impacted an extremely, not to say this in a bad way, but just to say a weak link,
Yeah.
and you've now optimized that, and that's why it's bleeding into these other areas of life like business.
Yeah.
But we don't, as humans, unfortunately, we're not aware of that all the time, and we don't see it until it's too late, and then it's
That's a
really,
solid point.
yep.
Man, that's exactly how I felt. When I was speaking with my referral partner I work closely with, his name is Brent Widman, awesome guy. He works with sales professionals, and we are talking about this. And I told him, I said, I'm at the point now where I feel more open to talk about my story. I've always been hesitant on, it's one of those things. The way I was raised is like, especially in a leadership role, I didn't want people to know what was going on, so I kind of hid it. You feel like you have to have this perception. And I'm at the point now where I was like, screw that. Like, people need to know, because I know for a fact other people have gone through something similar, or their own issues, right? And what they're dealing with. But what you said is so true. When you're in it, it's difficult to fully recognize. And in addition to that, it's very difficult to have enough awareness to make changes. And I think that right there is that sweet spot where someone has to then make a decision. Like that person in my case, when we met, I was already having that mental dialogue with myself of like recourse, where it was like, okay, I need to change what I'm doing. I'm extremely depressed. I'm stressed out. I hate the way I look. I hate the way I feel. The way I'm approaching my day. Like I recognized it. I wish I would have recognized it sooner, of course, but that's what it was. And then once again, when we met and we started talking about this stuff and what you do and people that you work with, and it really inspired me. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I need to then take action. And it's been the best thing for me, and it is a process. It's not, like you said, it's not overnight, but the fact that you're making a decision to positively impact your life, that's massive. And then what you have to do is consistently make those changes every day. And for me too, I've always been an all or nothing type person naturally, right? Like when I go, I go. And to me, I love that about myself, but at the same time, it's also a detriment sometimes, because if I go all in and I fail, it's like, oh, that didn't work. So it's one of those things that I had to change my thought process around this as well, where I realized, okay, this is a journey. I'm looking for wins. Every single day I'm looking for a win. I'm waking up earlier. I'm hitting the gym. I'm changing my diet, everything, the gut health playbook that you provided me. I mean, anyone that's watching this, you need to get it. You reach out to us. The gut health playbook that Brad's put together is amazing. And that was massive for me because I had a lot of gut issues. I mean, it was immense what it did for me. And so once again, that's like kind of what it led us to this point. And obviously working together, we realized like I work with a ton of people just like you do. And in my line of work, I'm assisting people when it comes to their financial management, both personal and business, their credit, both personal and business. How do we maximize it? Are there any issues? And regardless of your situation, there's always a solution. But that's what I'm dealing with every single day with my clients, and it's helping them, be able to make better informed decisions. There's a lot that I'm able to do on their behalf, but ultimately it's to better their overall financial picture so they can move forward and achieve their goals. Well, then it hit me, and that's what we've been talking about. I was like, if you are going through any sort of mental and physical angst, it's going to be very difficult to even be motivated enough to do what we need to do on my side to get you to your goals. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's going to be difficult. And I mean, that's why I want to bring up right now. That's what led us to this moment of creating a program together called the Total Life Reboot. And it's crazy how we talked about it and we're like, what do we call this? And that's what it is. It's a total life reboot. We need to address both the physical, your health, your mental, along with your overall financial stability and goals. And we need to bring them together. I've never seen anyone do this, but yet it's talked about all the time. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of health issues, divorce issues. And if you're going through physical and health and mental stress, it's going to be very difficult to do what you need to do here. And it impacts your life greatly. And so I just know, it's not even I have a feeling, I know the good that we're going to be able to do for people and bring in and combining our forces, it's going to be massive.
Not only that, it's like I've I've worked with some of the most successful people in the world inside of certain industries, and they are not only successful in their career, not only successful financially, they realize that to maximize or achieve the top percent of what they are doing, they must. It's not they should or they maybe, it's they must maximize their health and fitness.
Yep.
And because it's when you're looking to do anything to the greatest degree possible, and in this case, financially, which let's be real, is I would say probably one of the top three most important things you should focus on
Without a
in
doubt.
your life.
Yep.
It's finances. And if you want that to be to the greatest degree possible, you must have health and fitness just as a top priority.
Yep.
And I think the thing that I love about this, and I think you can agree with attesting to doing it, when we first look at health and fitness, it can be very confusing. One side of the story says this, one side of the story says that. Oh, I have to devote all this time and money to it. And it's like, no, it can actually be very simple. It's just you have to do it consistently every day. And it doesn't require hours upon hours or, thousands upon thousands of dollars to invest into what you have to do. It's actually just requires consistent time day in and day out, and just really investing in yourself and doing it.
Yeah.
But what that does is it maximizes the finances, your career, greater than what you thought possible before.
Yep. Without a doubt. I mean, and if you're able to talk about it, let the people know. I mean, let everyone know who you work with. I know you work with people like myself and people throughout the nation, but you're a celebrity trainer, my friend. Like who's on your client list?
So what has really kind of brought me into the scene with a lot of this, I've worked with Dan Reynolds, lead singer of Imagine Dragons, for many years. I went on his Evolve tour back, I think it was 2017, 18, where I traveled with the band for a year and a half, working now currently with Steve Aoki, one of the world's greatest DJs.
Massive.
Benson Boone, who he came out of American Idol and he is clearing the charts right now. And he went on tour. He's on tour right now. Susie Abermite, who's an actress who's made popular from Jessica Jones. She was in The Purge. She's been in plenty of movies. Drake Livingston, who came very popular out of TikTok and is cruising through the world. I think he's either in Europe or he's in USA tour right now. So a lot of individuals who are extremely busy, performing at the top of their game, and are just top in the world.
Oh yeah.
And
if you think about it, because we talked about this, there's probably a perception of some where they see, super celebrity, tons of money. They probably think, oh, they got it so easy. They have this, they have that. And don't get me wrong, they have the resources available to them to ease a lot of the things. But the reality is, to be at that type of performer, as you said, I mean, it requires your mental and physical everything. Because if that's off, you're not going to be able to perform. You know what I mean? Like their scheduling, how they do their touring, the amount of hours they put in, all over the place, traveling. Like there is a lot to that entire process. And to be able to manage your day and time effectively, that in itself is a feat. And then if you couple that, because I mean, think about it. We know this, even traveling ourselves for work.
Yeah.
When you're on the go and it's quick, well, what do people turn to? Quick options. Well, the reality is most quick options are horrible for you. So it's like, just imagine like all these different choices they have to make. and how easy that can go against them, you know? So it's what you've done is
Well,
amazing.
and the cool thing about this is that, you know, the the process in doing this doesn't have to be complicated even while traveling, you know, because I think, because I remember, and the a lot, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs or a lot of business owners, business leaders, and some of the biggest challenges is knowing what to do while traveling, or
Yep.
knowing what to do where it's like it has to be convenient and on the go, because we don't have, you know, to be able to dedicate 30 minutes to every meal, to meal plan, or we don't have hours upon hours to train in the gym, or and that's okay. You don't need it. And that's what I really, in developing this method, where I learned in working with them, where it had to be concise, it had to be convenient, and had to be effective inside of the chaos, because
Yep.
that's really what it is. And that's
Yep.
how we're able to make this total life reboot effective, no matter who you are, no matter what you're dealing with. But at the end of the day, you want results.
Yeah.
And that's what
Yep.
this delivers on.
Yep. You want to feel good. You want to look good. You want to perceive your environment well. You want to make better choices. I mean, just it all goes hand in hand. I mean, I can't express that enough. It really does, you know, and the way that I approached, you know, even my life, you know, leading up to starting Credit Life, which was my first business, started about 10 years ago, first time opening up a business. So first time entrepreneur, still going strong, which is awesome. We've had some downturns. Obviously, I went through it and we're back, but it's like, it's one of those things that it's all about time, right? Time management. That's difficult for a lot of people, you know, when it comes to their decision making. I can't express that enough. Like that's one thing that I've taken away from this, not to kind of you'll go off track too much, but
Yeah.
one of the most positive things that I've taken away from working with you and acting, you know, what needs to be done for my overall mental and physical self. And it is both. It's not just my physical, it's hand in hand, you know, is the way I go about making decisions now, you know, how I manage my time, and just the way that I treat other people, the way that I'm more present with my children, you know, I'm more active with them. Like it's my perception of what's happening around me has greatly improved because of how I'm feeling about myself. That to me is the largest single impact that this does for you. Because if you're not feeling good about yourself, you are naturally just going to look at things in a negative way. I know it. I did it. I know a lot of people that do that. And you can see, you know, where they're at in life and the struggles they face. And a lot of it just comes from here and how they perceive what's going on. And so like that's a big reason why since working with you, I've always wanted to team up, is because we both have the same, you know, we want to empower others. And I love where you come from, celebrity training, your success, what you've done. But even with us talking, you know, you recognize it's like what you created with the Feinberg method can empower masses. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just for the celebrity, it is for the business owner. It is for the salesperson. It is for, shoot, it's for the mom, stay at home mom with like multiple children. That's stressful in itself as well. It literally impacts everyone, you know. And then on
Mm-hmm.
my side, once again, it's okay, where's the credit? Where's the money? How are we managing it? How do we prepare for the future? How are we secure? So we're creating resiliency and opportunity while simultaneously doing the exact same thing with our bodies and our mind. Bam, total life reboot. That's what people want right now. And honestly, probably more than ever, because everything we've gone through with COVID,
Oh, yeah.
the shutdown, people's mindsets. I know for a fact you see it like top, you know, even children, like the amount of like stress, anxiety, like there's a lot going on, right? So people are looking for the reboot. They want the start over point. Well, that's this. That's this right here, what we've created, the total life reboot. That is the starting point. That's what you're looking for. And so we're really excited to launch this. We are not going to be charging anything crazy. This is going to be available for everyone. In fact, next week, just hit me up. I'm going to start sending out some emails. I'll be posting on social media. We have our first event next week. It's all virtual. And literally what we're going to do is we're going to go through the Total Life Reboot program. We're going to talk about the Feinberg Method, how you're going to be able to effectively implement that into your life. And in addition to that, we're going to start to go over when it comes to credit, financial wellness. If you're a business owner, I'm going to touch on that as well. We're going to piece this all holistically together. And our goal is to empower everyone. So at that moment when you're on, you have not only motivation to take action, but you have more clarity in what you're going to do and why. That to me is everything. It's clarity. Like, okay, I get it now. Here's where I'm going. Super excited.
Not only that, this is going to give you the opportunity to really create what you want. It's
Yeah.
like, imagine just being able to look in the mirror and you're just so fired up by the body that you're staring at.
Yep.
You're so fired up with how much energy you have to take on the day.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what's available here.
Well, I know that's how I've been feeling. Katie knows. I'm every morning I'm like, "Ooh, what's up, girl?" Feeling better about myself. I'm ready to take on the day. So, yes,
It's awesome.
that's what we want to give to everyone. We want you to be there, mind, body, spirit, and with your
Yep.
money and your credit. Like it's opportunity, it's success, and this is for everyone, regardless of your starting point. This is for everyone. It's not just for the business owner. This is for people that if what we're talking about is resonating with you and where you're in your life right now, you want to attend, you need to attend. And this is not some crazy high-end guru thing. Like we are literally raw here. We come from expertise, we come from experience, and we have a large network. And what we want to do is leverage that in a way to better your life. That's why we're doing this. We're doing it for real. So it's going to be really fun and you're going to learn a lot. And the most important piece is you're going to be able to take away action items on, okay, I have a direction here, and there's obviously opportunities and ways that you can work with us. We'll talk about that, but don't think of this as some giant pitch fest. It's not going to be like that. We are going to give you the goodies. And the ones that want to work with us more closely, 100% you're going to be able to. But we want to deliver this to as many people as possible. So please share this. If you see this on social media, share it. We want to empower people for the better. That's why we're doing this. We're looking for the Total Life Reboot. That resonates with you and your network and your family and your friends, then share this, have them attend. It's going to be next week. I'll get the details out on that. It's going to be over Zoom. We're going to rock this out. We're going to have fun, and everyone's going to be exposed to how this all works.